My sister and I, we were first on Sister Sister, and there was success, and there was like limousines and all this stuff, people were like catering to us. And my mother, she had told my sister and I, she was like, none of this is gonna last. The limos are gonna stop one day. And we looked at her at first and we were like, why are you hating? Why are you raining down on our parade? But it was, in all actuality, I love that she said that, because she prepared us, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that did happen. The limos did stop coming, and then there was a time where the show ended, and my sister and I, we hadn't worked for a very, long period of time. But in that moment, when we were on Sister Sister, my sister and I, we were like, ew, but it's true. You may not appreciate it during that time, but as you get older, I'm like, gosh,
she built that mindset for you.
I thank God for my parents. And then, being strict in that way.
And I love that you're at a point in your life, you mentioned this before, where you started seeing everything beyond the hats that you were wearing. And I think sometimes, I know people who've got to that stage at 80. I know people who've got to that stage at 20. It happens in different parts of your life, but how beautiful that it has happened to you so early, because now you start to value. I think you actually are born when you realize that, right? I feel like it's, like you say, it's a whole new rebirth. And so I think I feel like the essence of this podcast that we're doing in this conversation is to do with getting back on track and how people can do that. But a beautiful way to even start, if you are so lost in your life and you feel like getting out of bed is difficult, and you feel like figuring out what you want to do in life is difficult, the first place to start is with yourself and everything else. Because when you get to, and yes, of course we need stability and finances, and we're not taking away any of that, but none of that will end up even fueling you at all. All those things are going to be temporary band-aids until you start fueling your own spirit and your own self. And I think that for me has been the biggest lesson, because my life has changed so much since being living at home with my parents in London. I was living a much simpler, in inverted commas, life. And I think about that, by simple I mean externally simple, but I think about internally, and I honestly feel like, and obviously this ebbs and flows, but my simplicity of heart and what I actually truly desire has always stayed the same. Even if externally things have changed. Yes, it's wonderful to have more luxuries in life, of course it is, but has my desires for safety and security and understanding myself and love, the basic needs, have always been the same.